Have you had the thought, this war should not be happening? And I can say that my experience is that the more I've evaluated the wars inside of me, the more perspective or wisdom I seem to have about outside wars. So, this is not the easiest inquiry to start with. It's much easier to understand what's happening inside of ourselves. And then we have so much more wisdom for dealing with what's outside of us. So let's just go through this one. So we start by just checking to see, can I know 100% that this war shouldn't be happening? And where I am at this point, I would say no, I don't know that. But you might say yes, and that's okay. Next is, how do I feel when I have this thought? This war shouldn't be happening. And I can feel the outrage, the indignation, the brokenheartedness, powerlessness, helplessness. There's even a little fear, like, if this can happen over there, where else might it happen? The next is, how would I be without that thought? If I didn't have the thought, this war shouldn't be happening, I would simply look and I would notice and have compassion. But the helplessness wouldn't be there. There'd be curiosity. I'd have interest in both sides. I wouldn't have all this anxiety over people's suffering. Instead, I'd just be curious. What is showing up for them that's enabling them to get through these difficult times for them? How are they handling the suffering? How are they handling the pain and the struggle? With one way, my thoughts go all towards everything that is hurting. But without that thought, I notice both things. I notice that in the face of hurting, there is strength showing up, there's cooperation showing up, there's all kinds of things showing up. So I actually get a fuller picture of the whole situation. Okay, next is turnarounds. So this war shouldn't be happening. Well, you can do a lot of turnarounds with this one. This war should be happening. You could start talking about the wars inside of myself, the wars outside of myself. But to keep the time here short, I'm actually going to go straight towards, how does this apply in my life? So when I look at myself, are there wars in myself that shouldn't be happening? And wow, there's little wars that happen all day long. I see my boss being unfair, treating people differently, and I have a little war over that. I don't think that's fair. I see somebody who lied at work, didn't show up for their shift, and told us that there was permission from the manager and there wasn't permission from the manager. And I have a little war about, she should be more mature than that. All day long, little thoughts will come in that argue with what is. And as long as I'm a war maker, I actually don't have the insight and wisdom to comment on other wars. It's something for me to learn in myself. That doesn't mean I can't help and contribute to peace. Obviously, I can always help and contribute to peace. But I can't be an authority that other people shouldn't have wars if I'm still having wars. If I don't know the full effort it takes to eliminate war in me, I can't impose that on someone else. So, how can I, moment by moment by moment, gain the wisdom to see that there doesn't need to be any war in me? How can I have that lived experience that whatever has happened is part of this that is? And imagining something else is like imagining I can fly. Imagining something that isn't here is imposing my beliefs on reality, and that never creates peace. So I can see how day by day, moment by moment, I can let go of war inside of me. I can trust that my coworker who's not getting treated fairly is going to have the confidence and the ability to take care of herself. And I can help in whatever way I can. I can trust that my boss, who clearly has this reactivity, is going to have opportunities to see through that. And perhaps I can help. I can trust that my coworker who lied and didn't show up is going to figure out what works in her life to have effective working relationships with other people. And perhaps I can help. I can see that every little fall we take is just like a baby learning to walk. I wouldn't regret any fall a baby needed in order to learn to walk. I'm not going to keep carrying the baby until I know that it can't fall when it takes a step. And I have the same confidence for everybody. So as I let go of the war inside of me and see what that takes, it does change my perspective on the wars in the world.